Welcome students to our e-learning session of 8th standard. This is our textbook. See, this textbook is very beautiful. This year we are going to learn different lessons. These include from the living world and classification of microbes to the life cycle of star. See, variety of lessons we are going to learn. We are getting full knowledge of different branches of science from biology, chemistry, physics, chemistry, environmental science, okay, with fun and full activities. See the front page. It tells us about the diseases of vital organs like heart. We can see the organelles also. We can this year we are going to learn cell and cell organelles. At the same time, effect of force and pressure and production of and propagation of sound. This is the content. This year we are going to learn 19 lessons. And this is the back side of a back page of our textbook, which shows animals that we see in different geographical conditions. Okay, students, very interesting now. We are going to learn first lesson, classification, living world and classification of microbes. Last year and always considered this year's lessons, science lessons, are always related with the knowledge that we got or received in the previous standards. Now, this lesson, first lesson, is related with the knowledge that we received last year's first lesson. What is the hierarchy? See the first question. What is the hierarchy for classification of living organisms? It is classification of organisms into groups or sets on the basis of similarities and differences. So this hierarchy, it consists of simplest form to complex form. The simplest form of classification is species. To complex form of classification is kingdom. Okay. So the highest level of hierarchy is kingdom, which is having lot of differences and very less similarities. While the species is having much more similarities and very less differences. For example, I have gave you mango and human examples. Okay, now mango. You like everyone likes mango, but mango fruit is of different kinds. Alfonso, Kesar mango, Dashara, Langda. It has similarities. All belongs to the genus family, same genus. But they have differences on the basis of their fragrance, their color, their appearance, their shape. What are the similarities? It belongs to same family. It belongs to same genus. The seeds of every mango, when we break open it, it break opens into two equal parts. That is dicotyledony. Means it. All these are having same class, same order, same family, but the species are different. So, by considering lowest two levels, binomial nomenclature is introduced by scientists. So, who invented binomial nomenclature? Last year we learned Carl Linnaeus. He invented and he considered lowest level of classification for giving name to the organism. It is genus and species. It means this binomial nomenclature is based on genus and species. Students, in school we identify our surname and name. This surname means all our family members have same surname, but at the same time we are having different names because we are different individuals. So to identify by people, we are having different names. Understood? Like that, every living organism have same scientific names, that is based on binomial system. It includes genus, means generic name, which starts with or which we write with capital letter. The first letter is capital, and for species we do not write with capital. We write it in simple form. Understood now? The basis of classification. Now we will start our lesson. The first content of our lesson is biodiversity and need of classification. We know that living things are of different types. Why we see differences among living things? There are different criteria. Habitat plays important role. Geographical condition also plays important roles. The cellular structure plays important role. So on the basis of these criteria and mode of reproduction in animals, locomotion, that is movements, ingestion of food, and also presence of vertebral column played important role for biodiversity. In plants, we know that plants are flowering, but all plants are not flowering. Some plants are flowering, some are non-flowering. Every plants have stem, but some plants have strong stem. If they are heighted, we identify that plants in the form of trees. If they are very small, that is 1 to 2 meter height, we identify them as a shrub. If they have weak stem, we identify them as a climbers and creepers. And if we do not see the plants through our naked eye, then they are called as unicellular. So these criteria played important role for biodiversity. According to 2011 census, there are near about 87 million type of species found on the earth. So how to identify them? In order to identify them, know them, to study their characteristics, they are classified into different kingdoms. In the earlier period of time in 1725, see the history. What we learned from the history in 1725? The living Carl Linnaeus classified these living things into two groups. Vegetabilia means plants and Animalia means animals. This classification was done on the basis of their movement. We know that plants cannot move from one place to another, but animals can move from one place to another. So on the basis of this movement and also ingestion of food or nutrition, this classification was done. But with passage of time, scientists, they understood that there are other type of living things also that we cannot see. And when cell was invented, it was invented in the year 1665 by Robert Hooke. And when cell was invented, scientists also found that cells are of different types. Some cells are not having organelles, that cells are prokaryotes. Then plant cells and animal cell was identified or the scientists found them. And then these cells become the criteria or basis for the classification. And then Haeckel in 1866, Haeckel considered three criteria and he considered then three kingdoms: Protista, plants and animals. Protista means unicellular organisms. Though they are having cells, but their cells are having nucleus. But as they are unicellular, means their body is made up of single cell. These organisms, the third kingdom was introduced by scientists, which consist of all these unicellular organisms. So in 1866, three kingdoms of living organisms was introduced. Protista means all unicellular with eukaryotic cells. Last year we learned what are prokaryotic, what is meant by prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Understood? So all eukaryotic organisms which are unicellular, they are included in Protista. Then kingdom Plantae, which consists or which includes all types of plants, and kingdom Animalia, all types of multicellular animals. In kingdom Plantae, also all types of multicellular plants was included. Got the students? Now we will learn how that classification, 5 kingdom classification was introduced by scientists. Okay, so in the year 1925, Chatton introduced or created 2 groups on the basis of cell. We know that prokaryotic cell do not have nucleus. As it do, why? Because the nucleus is made up of 3 parts: nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm, and nucleolus. In prokaryotic cell, that nucleus was not having or is not having nuclear membrane. Hence, its nuclear material is directly in contact with cytoplasm. So, Chatton created 2 groups on the basis of cellular structure, that is prokaryotes and eukaryotes. And then in 1938, scientist Copeland divided living organisms into 4 groups or 4 kingdoms: Monera, Protista, plants, and animals. As scientists learn that fungi, they are included in the living organisms, but they do not have chlorophyll. Okay, as they do not have chlorophyll, so they are then included in different kingdom, that is fungi. So on what basis this classification is done? It was now the classification of 5 kingdom was introduced by American ecologist, that is Robert Whittaker. In 1969, he divided all living organisms into 5 kingdoms, and how he divided these organisms into 5 kingdoms. So he considered following criteria. First one, complex of cell structure. The organisms that are made up of prokaryotic cell, they are included in one kingdom, while organisms that are made up of eukaryotic cells, they are included in other kingdom. So first level of classification was done on the basis of prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So all prokaryotic animals were separated from the 87 million type of species, and they included in the kingdom Monera. Then the organisms that are unicellular and multicellular, it means second criteria was considered on the basis of cellular structure, that is unicellular and multicellular. So all the organisms which we cannot see through our eyes, they are included in the kingdom Protista, while all multicellular organisms are included in 3 kingdoms. First one, fungi, then Plantae, and then Animalia. In this way, 5 kingdom classification was introduced by Robert Whittaker. Now we will learn how it is classified. See, 5 kingdom classification. Now this is first level of classification, that is prokaryotes. See the cell prokaryote, we cannot see its nucleus. means all the nuclear material is in contact with cytoplasm. While the second cell, eukaryote, see, here this nucleus is having nuclear membrane. We can see with the help of this pointer, I will show you nuclear membrane. This yellowish color, this is a nuclear membrane. Because of nuclear membrane, nuclear material, that is nucleoplasm and nucleolus, we can see the nucleus. But here in prokaryotic cell, as nuclear membrane is absent, we cannot see the nucleus. All the nuclear material is in contact with the cytoplasm. Understood? So this is the first criteria to classify the living things into different kingdoms. So first level of classification consists of prokaryotes and eukaryotes. While in second criteria, complexity of cell level was considered. All living things that are unicellular and prokaryotes, they are separated as we learned, and the prokaryotes are included in the kingdom Monera. But all living things that are unicellular, they are included in the kingdom Protista. See the Protista, we can see it here. Kingdom Protista. See, this is a kingdom Protista. Okay, student. And here all unicellular organisms that are made up of eukaryotic cell, they are included in kingdom Protista. While all multicellular organisms, they are divided into three kingdoms. The first kingdom is, that is fungi of multicellular. Then second one is plantae, and third one is animalia. Now see what are similarities. All fungi, they are not having chlorophyll, but their cells are made up of cell wall. So presence of cell wall becomes important. So the cell wall, all the fungi are having cell wall, but as they do not have chlorophyll, so they are included in the kingdom fungi. Though fungi, they do not move from one place to another. These fungi, they depend on plants and or they depend on other living organisms for their nutrition. Understood? While in kingdom plantae, all plants are included in plantae. The cells of plants is having cell wall, but it is having chlorophyll. Understood? So these plants undergo photosynthesis, or they follow photosynthesis. Their mode of nutrition is autotrophic. While kingdom Animalia, in kingdom Animalia, all the animals are included, and their cells, the outermost covering of their cells is having cell membrane. Okay, students. In next session, we will learn the next part, that is kingdom Monera. Okay, till then.